a homecoming. Not everybody gets to come back home. What does it mean for you to play back where you grew up?
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling because for me, it's bigger than football. It's setting an example for the youth, and I have two little brothers myself, so I kind of just set the foundation not only as being a good football player, but just like, being disciplined, being obsessed with what you want to do in your life, taking care of school and academics. And I try to go back to my stomping grounds, my, little league football team that I played on, or elementary school that I went to. I kind of give these kids just kind of like, hey, like, here's how I did it. And you can do it too. Especially kids that don't have as much in terms of resources or guidance. So
was there somebody growing up that kind of did that for you, that helped kind of set the stage for that?
Yeah, my parents, my mom, my dad. I'm actually a first generation American. Both my parents immigrated here from Niger in West Africa, and they instilled hard work in me, and I saw it firsthand. And because I saw that, I just kind of formed this identity in which, like, I just knew very early on, like, man, adversity is going to come in whatever I do.
Right.
And, just staying with it, staying consistent, you know what I mean? You'll reap the rewards later. And so I would say, my parents really, 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 really did that for me. So
how difficult was it selling your parents on playing football? Because of course in Africa it's not the sport that they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
So was there some convincing of mom to be like, I can play this game, I'm not going to get hurt?
No. Actually, my dad, it was no convincing at all. My dad put me in football since I was 6 years old. Never had to convince him. He actually just told, because my dad was very matter of fact, like, here's what you're going to do. Took me to football and been taking me to football since I was 6 years old. So I'm not sure how he figured out, football, because like you said, it's not, especially in Nigeria, that's a soccer-oriented country. So I'm blessed that he did, though. But
walk us through your unique journey, because I know it's been a battle for you to try to get noticed and offers, and because right out of high school, it wasn't just initially happening, right?
Yeah, facts. I actually played safety in high school. So I graduated high school in 2020. I was a safety. I was about 165, 170 pounds. COVID happened, and Planet Fitness, like on Washtenaw Road, they had this summer program where it was free for kids, for teenagers to go. And I went and lifted and got super big, got to like 205. Ended up going to a junior college. Didn't know anything about junior college. I actually was watching Last Chance U. That's kind of, and I kind of just looked up, the closest JUCO to my house, and it was Hocking College. So I hit up Coach Ted Egger, gave me opportunity, and I went there, and it was tough. It was tough. It was a non-scholarship JUCO. I found myself facing a lot of adversity. And make a long story short, I ended up at Iowa State, became the first Power 5 player to come out of Hocking College, which was a true blessing. And Iowa State didn't fit me in my opinion. Great place, great people, just didn't fit me, and I dealt with a lot of mental health, and I just kept asking God, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? You know what I mean? But God has a reason for everything, and that's why I'm here right now talking to you. So
when you got that call that said, we want you to come back home, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Like, I'm very superstitious, so like in my mind, I'm like, man, this is like a movie type of moment, you know what I mean? Because when they first offered me out of JUCO, it was, it brought tears to my eyes, and you know what I mean, and in a way that, like, man, EMU, I've always wanted to play for EMU, being from Ypsilanti. So it was just awesome. And it was in my mind, I was like, man, this is that time where I can make an impact, greater than myself. And I can be somebody that, that can give this blueprint to younger people, to my family, even, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just be able to just carry out a legacy.
Have you thought what September 14th is going to be like to run out of that tunnel and help break down the wall and all those things for the first time and see your family and people from this community there supporting you?
All the time. I envision it all the time. And I just see myself just telling myself, like, we've been here before. This is nothing new. This is a child's game. I've been playing this game since I was 6 years old. Go out there, execute, doing my job, and use that energy and that juice from my family and my friends in the Ypsilanti community in the stands to help my team win. And I think about that all the time, and I couldn't be more excited.
85, not a usual number for a guy who playing defensive line, but is there a significance behind it?
Yes, it is actually. Like I told you, I'm very superstitious. So I actually wore 97 in the spring. That was a jersey number given to me. However, the defensive end that played last year, he took the 97 because he was a senior. So for the spring game, Ray, our equipment manager, he gave me 85 in place of the 97, and I was, kind of wondering, what does this mean? Like, why 85? And I sat in my locker and I was like, man, what does this mean? And I just took my previous experiences and I added them up. I was number 45 at Hocking College, and I was number 40 at Iowa State, and those two add up to 85. And in my mind, man, this is it. Like, this is where I'm gonna close my chapter. Obviously, there's a lot of work to be done, but this is where, this is that breakthrough. You know what I mean? Where everything that I've ever learned and went through, good or bad, comes into light, and I can, again, make an impact bigger than myself.
How you talked about being a safety when you first started this journey.
Yeah.
How have you gone about putting on so much muscle and mass to go from a safety to now working on the line?
Yeah, so like I said, I went to Planet Fitness and I was, lifting, and there's a Wendy's across the street, and at the time, I would go to the gym 2 to 3 times a day, and every single time I'd go to Wendy's and get a 4 for $4, which is around 1,000 calories per meal, and I would just keep eating, plus the food I was eating at home, eating a lot of rice and stuff like that. And I just kept eating, and I kept eating, and I kept lifting, and I just would use YouTube and Google as a resource to, man, this is kind of how you get there, how you get here. You got to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I was touching 200 pounds. So, which is insane to me. Like, now that I think about it, but at the time I was like, man, this is how you get it.
Yeah.
And I give great credit to my parents, giving me that mentality. But now that I think back, it's insane how I did that.
Yeah, that's putting on some weight quick.
Yeah.
Something that you love about Ypsi and Washtenaw County that maybe some of your teammates might not know yet, that would be like, wow, we could do that here in town?
Yeah. I would say there's a lot of great things in terms of, entertainment, and, you know what I mean? You it's peaceful living, but you can have some fun if you want to have some fun. I would say the main thing, though, is if you really get into the community, there are a lot of people that want to help. There are a lot of people that want to help people, but I wouldn't say majority, but a lot of the people just don't have the resources to help. And I feel like if, people in this community had the resources, a lot of people would start nonprofits and things of that nature. But there are a lot of good-hearted people in here, and whether despite their financial situation, there's a lot of good people here, I would say. So it's a huge opportunity to, like I just mentioned, nonprofit. Man, if you have a nonprofit idea and you want to start something, I mean, you could find a team here. I truly believe that. So
I know that when you took your photo a little bit ago, you had the flag, you've got the necklace.
Yeah.
Have you been to Africa? Have you made it the trip over there to go back and see where your parents were from?
Yeah, no, I have not actually. I have not had the opportunity to. I will though. I will very soon. It's circumstances are circumstances, and we can't change those. But I definitely plan to take a trip back there, and see a lot of family that know who I am and that are rooting for me. And yeah, so
I could ask you a whole lot more questions, and we'll probably loop back around again in the future on this
for
one.
sure.
But I want to ask you a closing thought on bet.
yeah,
It's the theme of the year. I mean, in a lot of ways, you put a bet on yourself to get to this point. What does it mean to you to have this theme?
for me, the first thing when I think of bet, I think of I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm not, gonna go around and say, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna show you. There's been a lot of negative energy, and a lot of negative type of, comment on Eastern, as of late. And that's okay because we know who we are and we know what we're capable of. And August 31st, we're planning on showing the world that. But in the meantime, it's like bet is something where it's, man, like I said, I can show you better, I can tell you. Nothing really much. There's nothing really to talk about. Just gonna put our head down and work. Be good people. Take care of our academics. Be good to the community, and play the game how it's supposed to be played. So,
anything else the fans that you think should know about you?
Yeah, I'm always in the community. I'd say if anybody ever wants to reach out, not even NIL, I don't need any money. In terms of helping others, I could help your nonprofit organization or volunteer here and there. I'm up for it, and you could reach out on any of my social media platforms or email or something. So that's one thing I'd say about me that I wish kind of more people knew.